The U.S. is removing China from a list of countries it accuses of manipulating their currencies. It's happening just days before they're expected to sign the first stage of a trade deal. U.S. President Donald Trump has long accused China of keeping the yuan at low levels to get an unfair trade advantage. Alan Fisher is in Washington and tells us what this could mean for the trade war.
Go back 4 years, Donald Trump, when he was campaigning to become president, said that in his first day in the White House, he would declare China to be a currency manipulator. Well, he eventually got round to it, but it was just 5 months ago. Now, it really was a symbolic gesture. It didn't really have much impact. It could have opened China up to greater scrutiny from the International Monetary Fund. But it didn't really happen. This was at the height of Donald Trump's trade war. You'll remember he imposed tariffs on billions of dollars worth of Chinese goods. He said that China was pouring billions of dollars in fees into the US Treasury. In fact, if you look at a report that came out just last week, it said that 100% of the cost of tariffs was being borne by American families. One survey said American families were about $800 a year worse off. So this shows that things between China and the United States are getting better, and the markets have responded well to that. It's up again in the United States at the close of business on Monday. So it seems as if things are improving, but there is criticism of Donald Trump. Not surprisingly, it comes from the Democrats. Chuck Schumer is the leader of the Democrats in the Senate. He said, look, China is still a currency manipulator. The United States shouldn't be taking that tab away. And it says we're giving away a lot and not getting a lot in return, calling into question whether or not Donald Trump really is the great negotiator that he says he is.
Katrina Yu is in Beijing, and she has more on the reaction there.
One way to describe it is that China and the U.S. have a rocky, stormy relationship. And this currency manipulator announcement, this phase one trade deal, is one bright spot. It's a break in the rain. It's a break in the lightning and the storm. But this is not. The short answer is no. This is not the end to the trade war. And here, state media and what we're reading, analysts here also believe that this trade war is going to last for months, if not years, because we've seen that, these trade talks have been going on. We've had more than a dozen talks between Chinese and US negotiators, and they almost collapsed last year. So we do get the sense that phase one was really the low-hanging fruit, the things that the US and China were able to agree on, and that China was able to happily agree on, and everything that they weren't so sure, they basically just pushed that to phase two. But phase two, they're going to have to discuss the real things that are really at the heart of this trade war that are getting to the US, the technology race, for example, some structural changes that China has pretty much said no or been very reluctant to change. So there is quite a lot of pessimism as to whether we will even get to a phase two, let alone a phase three. But for now, I think China, at least the state media here, are focusing on the fact that, look, this is not the end, but we're still working on it, and that's a good thing. So far, that's what we've seen from Beijing.